We're starting the stream with a Bubba. Bubba's here to hang out with all of us. That's what's happening. He needs his morning time with Dad. So he's hanging out. Bubba, say hi to everybody. Good. Good, good. Sounds good. Got everything all set up. I'm going to go ahead. I'll probably tweet out to the places that need tweeting. Or not tweet out, but share the live stream with everybody. Your little dagger claws digging into my skin. That's very, very kind of you. Very kind of you, little one. I love that about you. I love that about you, Bubba. You're just so willing to stab your friends. A trait I wish to acquire one day. Damn, that's good. Well, for you, those of you who are just joining us, welcome on in. So today I want to go over something and do a quick intro. Welcome on in to the very first episode, I guess, of the Common Language. The Common Language is going to be kind of this shortened version of a live stream that I do every Thursday. So if anybody who is watching this in the past and you're going over this, we are going to be talking about certain topics. I think usually we're going to keep it try to keep it around 3 topics a stream. And then once we're done talking about those topics, I'll go ahead and shorten the episode, or shorten the VOD more specifically, to an episode, and then that's what you guys will be watching now. So hopefully you guys are excited about that. I know it seems like Flesh and Blood always wants more podcasts, so I'm more than happy to provide one and kind of talk a little bit about my own personal experiences into Commoner and Clash and so on and so forth. I do want to apologize for the lighting. I'm sure the lighting is hot dog water right now, but for those of you who are just listening to my voice, it doesn't really matter. But my window back here likes to let in a lot of light, which means that no light coming from in front of me ever quashes it. So I might want to look into getting a drape for this, but we'll see how that works out. I'm joined here by my co-host Bubba, my cat. Bubba, you say hi. Okay, that's cool. Bubba doesn't need to say hi. So, what we're talking about today, first and foremost, I want to go over something for those of you who are not seeing this, on the screen. We have gotten up and we've been climbing recently this past week, 2 weeks really, with tons of people getting super interested in the channel. Content is doing very well overall. I have a bunch of views on our most recent video, as well as a lot of the stuff that I put up over on February. We are at 1,721 subscribers, which means that we are inching ever closer to 2,000. If I can get 2,000 subscribers before Part the Mistveil launches, I'll do a giveaway for a Part the Mistveil booster box if we end up doing that. So that would be very cool. So if you guys are not a part of that, I highly suggest doing so. Another thing, I'm not sure if I brought it up on live, but I'm pretty sure I did. We do have our first channel member, Jonathan Bauer. So Jonathan, if you are popping in the chat anytime here soon, you'll probably see him over here. I just wanted to say thank you so much for supporting the channel. If anybody does want to become a channel member, you can always go ahead and do that by going down to the member button. I think that's how it works on YouTube videos. You can become a member of the channel, but it's not necessary, right? All it does is it gets you special access to videos that are only for members, and then you get emotes and badges in our live streams. So if you're able to catch live streams, super great. Outside of that, support however you wish, but any amount helps. All right, Bubba, what are you doing? Do you need to get down? Do you need to get down? Do you want to get down? Okay. Oh, Okay. Well, now you're down. Slap that butt. Give that butt a go slap. Slap that cat butt. Okay. Are you good? You gonna go take a nap? Don't fall. Okay. Well, he's either gonna go take a nap or he's going to hopefully eat his food that I made for him. I gourmet make my cat's food anytime I'm home in the morning. He never eats it. Well, he doesn't eat it initially. He does eat it. But something else I also wanted to check real quick because I am curious. I have a chat bot in the chat, and I am trying to figure out whether or not it's here. Because I don't think it is. It certainly doesn't seem to be. Because there should be a chatbot in here, and they're not. Let me go ahead. Let me real quick just part them and then join them. Because now that I'm live, maybe it's got like a chat it can actually enter. But I'm not sure how that all works. I'll have to do some research. No, elements chatbot not working on YouTube. Okay. Chat in stream elements only shows up if the stream is public. Interesting. Well, it is public. My stream is public. I see it. So I'm not sure why we haven't gotten there yet. Let's see. I'm gonna do some quick roundabout BS real quick before we figure this out because I want to get this right. I want my stream bot to be in my chat. Oh. No, not responding in Twitch. I don't need it to. I don't want it to be in Twitch. I wonder if I have to use the SE Live. Oh, that's what I'm supposed to do? Shoot, hold on. Let me get that going. Stream elements as a moderator. Permissions, right? Permissions? Yeah, moderators, yeah. Stream element. Uh-oh. There's a lot of stream elements. Well, which one is actually Stream Elements? They all have the same name. I don't want to add a moderator to my channel if it means, oh no, I didn't mean to do that. Let's see. Let's go to the official Stream Elements. This is the one. This is the one. All right, so we do this at Stream Elements. Let's I'm in there, save. Okay. So now Stream Elements is in the channel as a moderator. Maybe it's because it doesn't see that I'm live right now. Yeah, because it doesn't show anything. Strange. You know what? We'll worry about it later. We'll do that offline because I think it just doesn't see, which is weird because like this can get updated and like this can all get updated, but the bot doesn't see that I'm live, and I wonder if it's just because I don't have I wonder if it's just because I don't have a I'm not using their like specific OBS. Oh, look, it even says I'm live right now. Look at that, live. Integrations, security, any redemptions. Like, it's there. What does it need? Wild. Anyway, we'll see whether or not that actually works. Because that's the other thing, is it's also not noticing my members, which is very weird to me. But anyway, it is part the Mistveil time, guys. Part the Mistveil. We got huge amounts of news in regards to part the Mistveil. Now, for those of you who are not aware of Flesh and Blood, right? Flesh and Blood, new TCG on the block, been around for about 5 years now. Absolutely killing it. The way the game is played is very intricate and fun. It's nail biting. It's intense. It's just very, very cool. But they're currently coming out with their next set in May called Part the Mistveil. Their very first set that is going to be for Japan. It's going to be not for Japan specifically, but it's the first set to be released in Japanese alongside with all of its other global languages. And Part the Mistveil, very cool Eastern theme to it. I mean, super, super pretty. I mean, we're talking like, I don't even want to, I don't want to beat around the bush. Look at this. Like, this is gorgeous. So you take a look, stuff like this. I don't understand why my thing just went crazy like that. Hello? Okay, you get F11, dummy. So this is Part the Mistveil for what we know so far. We know about our heroes. And then we also got spoon-fed some spoilers over this past week. We got access to Big Blue Sky and Wide Blue Yonder. So Big Blue Sky we're looking at more mystic stuff. It gets +1 defense for each blue card you've pitched this turn. And then Wide Blue Yonder it's an attack reaction for Mystic. Target attack gets +1 for each blue card you pitch this turn. Notice it says target attack and not target like attack action, which means that this can be used on weapons too, which is very, very powerful. The interesting thing here, and as we are seeing, that blues are prevalent, very prevalent in the set. It looks like nearly every Mystic card is going to be dealing with blues. But we do also have these chakras here, which we got introduced into. Each class getting their own chakra. There's the Moon Chakra for the Mystic Illusionists. This is where we got introduced to the Transcended keyword. The Transcended keyword, you have to hit this state of transcended. You have to have transcended at this point. And if you do, you do extra things, right? So for instance, Moon Chakra for the Mystic Illusionist, if you've transcended, you can prevent 5 damage instead of 3 damage at instant speed, which is very powerful for illusionists. Kano mains are going to hate. Tide Chakra, this is a Mystic Assassin attack reaction. This is going to be +X to your Mystic or Assassin attack action. +3 if you have not transcended, but +5 if you did. The same goes with Wind Chakra. Wind Chakra is a go again Mystic Ninja action that gives your next Crouching Tiger +3, which is very huge because Crouching Tigers have no attack power. So allowing them to actually come in for damage to start your chains is very powerful. But then if you've transcended this turn, it'll get +5, which means that you can start your turn with a Crouching Tiger that might be in Banish with +5 go again at the beginning of your turn. Absolutely insane. But you have to transcend, right? So what is that? What is transcending? So transcending, we had found out based on the new Sacred Art cards that are being released. These are, they're going to have Marvel versions of them in the set, but there are extended art versions that you can get at the Calling Tokyo. And these are the Marvels, for the record. Also, very gorgeous art, mind you, regardless of the fact that this is a, straight up just a nude woman. But this is incredibly beautiful. The colors pop on all 3 of these. You have Sacred Art Undercurrent Desires for new, Sacred Art Immortal Lunar Shrine for Enigma, and then you have Sacred Art Jade Tiger Domain for Zen. And all 3 of these are very powerful. They're legendary, which means you can only have one of them in your constructed deck, but you're able to have multiples of them if you pull them in your limited decks. So that's very cool. And then if you've played another blue card this turn, you get to choose all 3 options. Otherwise, you'll just choose one. So you can play this without having to actually have, played a blue, but playing a blue gets you all 3. So that is where the variance comes in. Golly gee. So for Undercurrent Desires, you make tokens of Fang Strike, and Slither in your hand. I'm assuming that is one card. It's Fang Strike and Slither is like one card, or it's going to be multiple. We're not too sure. I don't know. These are obviously tokens because you can just create them as opposed to, putting them somewhere. You can then banish up to 2 cards in an opposing hero's graveyard, which is very, very powerful considering you're already going to be banishing cards from their deck in most cases. Now you're going to be able to banish them from their graveyard too with a card like this. And then the third option is Transcend. Now what Transcending is, if you are just listening, Transcending, what happens is you flip the card over and you get this thing called Inner Chi. Inner Chi is then put back to your hand instead of going to the graveyard, right? Now you have a blue 3-pitch card in your hand that will pitch for chi resources or regular energy resources. And that is really cool because we found this out when we finally read Preserved Tradition. That is the first time in which we had seen the actual use of inner chi, because in Preserved Tradition it does say here, if you've played another blue card this turn, transcend in the help text there, the reminder text says put this into its owner's hand flipped. So when it's flipped, it'll become a 3 chi resource card that you can pitch for regular resources, or you can pitch for chi, the chi will obviously allow you to activate the hero's chi abilities, which cost 3 chi. Now, that's incredibly cool because I think it's only going to be 3 chi. You know, I don't think they're going to make a 2 or a 1 for the chi. I think 3 is about where we're at. Ooh, excuse me. But I do think that the chi is going to be important because getting these cards early allow you to set up your second cycle to just be able to power through a lot of your opponent's stuff. For instance, most heroes have a lot of blues left in their deck at the second cycle because they're pitching them for their resources to do their big attacks during the first cycle. Now, that doesn't mean that there's only blues left in the deck, but New's ability allowing you to pitch a chi to then look at the top card of your opponent's deck. If it's a blue, banish it, and then you can play blues from their banish zone at any time, gives New the ability to play your opponent's deck as well as your own. So when you run out of cards, if you still have chi, you can still attack with your opponent's cards in their banish zone, which is incredibly powerful. Not to mention the fact that with her Sacred Art, if you do end up playing it later, you can play those cards from their banish zone and then put them back into the banish zone because they go to their graveyard and then you can banish them again. Very, very powerful. Not to mention that all these mystic arts are instant speed. So if all transcending cards are at instant speed, that means that you can easily just play a blue and then just transcend, right? Kind of get it out of the way, be able to do anything that you need to. It works out great. So now we know, right? Sacred Art, Undercurrent Desires does those 3 things. The Immortal Lunar Shrine, you create 2 Spectral Shield tokens. You put a +1 counter on each aura with ward you control, which is insane to me because it's obviously going to care about auras a lot. And then Zen's allows you to create 2 Crouching Tigers in hand, and then they all get +1 this turn. So this is like a Roar of the Tiger effect, along with 2 Crouchings in hand, and then you get to transcend. I think out of the 3 of these, we're now learning a little bit more about what our decks are going to do as we kind of get spoon-fed more stuff. So, Sacred Art, Undercurrent Desires, we obviously know that we're going to be creating this token in our hand, or these tokens in our hand, and be able to play them at, whatever speed they might be. And I'm sure they're going to be some kind of attack reaction. Maybe they're going to introduce an infecting kind of deal. I'm not sure. And then you get to banish stuff. Super great. I think New's ability also, it's good to notice that New's chi ability at instant speed doesn't say once per turn. Both other heroes say once per turn instant, do your chi ability, but New says as many times as she wants. So if New can pitch a chi, look at the top card of their deck. If it's a blue, banish it. They can pitch another chi and do it again to see if it's another blue card and then banish that one too. Because if you can banish 2 cards off your opponent's deck at any time, I mean, that's kind of insane. Right now, we only see that there are 2 chi cards per hero. Obviously, there's going to be more chi cards. I believe all the chi cards are going to have Marvel versions of themselves, and I think there's like 18 Marvels in the set. 6 of them being for the heroes, right? Because obviously, New, Enigma, and Zen are all going to have Marvel versions of themselves, which 18 minus 6 is 12. We now know that these 3 here are going to be Marvels, so now we have 9. Preserved Tradition had a Marvel. Now whether or not Preserved Tradition's Marvel is only for Japanese, I'm not sure, because they did showcase an alternate art version of Preserved Tradition in a Marvel version of itself, but it was in Japanese. So the Japanese set does have an additional Marvel and Legendary compared to the rest of the world's product. So that is important to note. They might just be getting that, which is a feels good if you're a commoner player. But I think this set's insane. I think the set does a crazy amount for what it's worth. And I think that overall, it's going to be such a banger of a set. I don't think there's going to be a single problem with running any of these heroes. I think these heroes' power levels are probably way too high. Not in a bad way, though. I don't think they're that high. Because you also have to realize, right? KO just came out. People are going to be playing KO. But I think these heroes, they provide something special to them that no other hero is able to do. You know, brutes are able to utilize all those other things like agility tokens and might tokens and intimidates and discarding 6s to do things. Like, that's just a brute thing. Guardians, they have a great, armor suite, and they're able to block very well. But these 3 heroes, with being in the Mystic talent, it's the only talent that uses chi. So I think this is just like incredibly cool. I love everything about it. I really want these Marvels. I think that the set's going to be a banger. I think it's genuinely going to be such an insane thing. These Crouching Tigers are going to be, I mean, the Marvels, I'm sure there's not a single Marvel on online anymore. But I'm happy I was able to, right before the hype, really not right before the hype, but kind of before the hype, I was able to go ahead and get myself some Tiger Swipes. I was able to get myself some Infiltrates for New, even though I don't think I'm actually going to play it, but I could. I got myself 3 Mind State of Tiger, so I have that available. And then I have this plus 2 more Roar of the Tigers in essentially coming in there. So very happy to see that the set is just like doing insanely well. I think that a lot of people are going to probably really flock towards the New Illusionist, or they're going to flock towards the towards Zen. But I think I also hear a lot of people talking about New. Like, Assassin isn't really a big played class for most people. It's kind of a specialist class that people play right now. But after taking a look at New and how full stop, how incredibly hot she is, I think there's a lot of people who are just like, yeah, I think I'm going to play New. I think that's the waifu. So that's really cool. I love seeing that. Then also, we have something else that was really, really nice. Not sure if it's going to show on here. Maybe it will. Maybe it won't. I guess it won't. Something that was really, really cool is that we also got information on the fact that Japan is going to get, during the calling, right, during the world premiere, as a commemorative card, you can get a promo, like, Japanese style anime art of Enigma, and I'm assuming there's going to be other heroes in that same style. But let me go ahead and see if I can find the. Let me go ahead and see if I can find the thing, because I really want to. I really, really want to see it. Let's see. Let's hop over here. Let's hop over here. Hop on here. Let's see. My goodness, the calling Phukets this weekend. That's wild. I didn't even know. All right. Let's go to, I think it's this one. Yeah. Is he going to say it on the site? Yeah, world premiere. Ah, gosh, this is going to be so crazy. Okay, so you're only going to kind of be able to see it. It's going to take a little while to load because this is a Japanese site getting transferred to English, I believe. But this right here is the anime art for Enigma. So if you get the Fabled package, you get one copy of each of these sacred arts in their extended art versions. You also get a freaking anime art Enigma playmat. And then if you just want to do the world premiere, you get a card of it in Japanese. Incredibly cool. You also have cold foil stuff, or promo English card, new alluring desire. Then the battle hardened stuff. The battle hardened promo is to be decided, so not sure what that's all about. But this is what's happening here. So super cool. The promo is very beautiful. It's like a good thing and a bad thing, right? Because as somebody who loves anime art, this is the same way that I feel about the buy a box promos that came out with Magic the Gathering when it started doing a whole bunch of its 30th anniversary stuff. The APAC promos for Magic the Gathering looked gorgeous in like a beautiful anime style art, but it was impossible to get them because you need to know somebody who's over there, who's at an LGS out there, and who's able to then let you pay the shipping to get those cards all the way to the States so that you can get them. It's a very cool collection, something I definitely want, but it is just so incredibly difficult. I imagine it's going to be the same way for this. It's great because it gives really exclusivity, but it gives the Japanese community something special for themselves, much like how the Merlion Sigil of Solace and the Oasis Respite that's coming out for the event. There's an Oasis Respite promo that's also being brought out for Tokyo. So I think it's very, very cool that they are doing that. But I am not sure whether or not I just feel bad because I know I'm probably never going to get one. So we'll see. We'll see what's going on with that. It is off. I'm so stupid. It hasn't been off forever, I promise. I literally like went to cough and I completely forgot to unmute it. Anyway, again, this is the new Enigma. So this new Enigma here is, I think this is really, really cool. I love the concept of this. Also, great to see you, Eric. Welcome on in. If anybody over in the Japanese community can get me one of these, or anybody going to the world premiere Tokyo, I'd be so down to see this in person and to like have it in my hands. But I get it, you know. It's gonna be difficult to get that together, but we'll see. Gosh, it is okay. So we talked about what transcending is. We talked about the inner chi stuff. I think really the most exciting thing I have for the set so far, the thing I'm most excited about is the fact that we are getting chi stuff in common, because preserved tradition is a common, which is incredibly good because that means that in commoner we're actually going to be able to use the chi abilities of the heroes, which I think is very, very nice. What's up, Michael Superbacker? How are you? Welcome on in. How are things? How's stuff? I wonder what they're going to reveal today. They have to reveal something today, right? I would think they do. I would think they do. But yeah, so I am very excited for everything that's going to be going on. Again, I have huge FOMO. Huge FOMO for not going to Tokyo. But obviously, I cannot afford a trip to Japan to just hang out. Ah, oh, dang. Well, hey, you know, you got to stay home, so that's at least nice. Hopefully you get to enjoy some coffee or whatever you drink. Our coffee of the day today actually is it's More Bones Coffee, right? If you guys haven't heard about Bones Coffee, I'm not a sponsor for them or anything, but Bones Coffee is super great. And this one is a Bananas Foster coffee. So very good. I just got a new order placed. So hopefully I should get some new stuff in. We're going to have like 4 new flavors I haven't had before. So that's very, very good. Clash game 10 minutes. Nice. There you go. Who are you going against? Carlos? That's another thing. That's what I have to do tomorrow, Daniel. I have to figure out who's free tomorrow. Maybe I'll stay up like super late tonight so I can play all the people out in like Spain and Norway and stuff. That'd be great. But yeah, so Part the Mistveil, banger of a set. I'm very excited. I really want to collect it all, like all of it. But that's how I feel about every set. Something else I think I'm also going to be... I think I'm going to be doing something a little bit more different with my collections. So, as you guys know, I like collecting master sets, right? Master sets are something that I personally love, and I want to continue collecting master sets. I love the idea of a master set. But what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to start doing... I'm going to call them an armory, right? Or a loadout, maybe. I'm not sure what the word is, because obviously armories are the events that you go to at your LGS. But I think what I want to do is I want to make a binder specifically for classes. So that way, in case I ever need to get anything for that class, I can just open up the binder, grab my playset that I have of it, and then go. Because having to look through all this bulk is a pain in my ass. And I definitely don't want to keep doing it. So I'm like, oh, you know what I'll do is I'll just play. I'll get a binder and I'll just put only assassin stuff in there. And we'll put the dual class assassin stuff in a different binder. That way, whenever they come out with new assassin stuff, I can throw it in the binder. But if it's a talent, I put all of every talent in one binder. Because, at least until it grows. Because that way, I'll have everything there. So, for instance, like Draconic, I'll have all Draconic cards, Draconic Ninja cards, and Draconic Illusionist cards in the same binder until, you know, Draconic Illusionist becomes too large, right? Or Draconic Ninja becomes too large. And then I'll split the binders into new ones. But I want to be able to just open up a binder and go, that's where my stuff is. I'm going to grab that and then just get what I need for it. Especially with making all of these decks for Clash and for Commoner and for CC. It's going to be a lot. So hold on one sec. I'm going to go blow my nose. Jeez Louise. But yeah, so I think I'm going to start doing that. Is I'm going to start building an armory of sorts, right? That way I can just kind of dive into it and go, I need these cards. Put them together for a deck. So the only downside is, like, especially with Clash, I don't think I need to worry so much about Clash. I think I'm doing this mainly for Classic Constructed, because if I'm trying to switch classes in Classic Constructed, I'm going to hate having to look through all these things and whatever. But, like, I'm normally only playing one hero forever until that hero Living Legends, like I was with Dromai. So doing that, I think it's going to work out a little bit better, but I'm not entirely sure. So I'm excited to know that there's going to be common things to do in Part the Mistveil. The question now is, what am I able to do for Clash? Because I think, like, I want to build all three of these, right? New, I feel like, is going to be really easy. And I believe that Zen is probably going to be the hardest. Zen's probably going to be the hardest to build, strictly because all of Zen's really powerful M cards that do things for him are like Tiger Swipe and Roar of the Tiger. They're all majestic. And unless there comes to be a specialization that works with Zen, probably not going to be very effective in that method. So I'm not sure. I think, but then I also think, like, okay, like, what is Enigma going to be doing, right? So what I wanted to do, I wanted to look at the auras. That's probably aura. So Shimmers of Silvers and M. That's already out of the bucket there for Clash. Haze Bending is a rare, good for Clash, but not good for Commoner. Tranquil Passing, I don't also think this is very good. Because what does this do? You may banish target aura token or aura permanent with cost 3 or less controlled by an opponent until Tranquil Passing leaves the arena. Not really. I mean, this is a blink concept. It's pretty good if your opponent has, like, I don't know, I'm trying to think, like an agility token or something. Like, well, it has to be an aura token. So is agility an aura? I don't know. I can't remember. Let's see. Oh, it is. It's right here. Agility is an aura. Let's see. I need just specifically illusionist. So, Blessing of Spirits is a rare. Might be a tech for this. Not sure though. Blessing of Spirits can give you 3 spectral shields if it just survives. Passing Mirage. Luckily, we get to play that in Clash, not in Commoner. Phantom Tide Maw is a Majestic. Pierce the Reality is a rare. Tome of Veo is a Majestic. Miraging Meteor is a Majestic. Coalescence Mirage is a common. This is so far this is an illusionist attack though, so it's not an aura. You just get to put out an aura. That's why I still think that unless they come out with like insane stuff for in the common, like they give out common auras, Enigma is going to be dead in the water in Commoner, which is very unfortunate. Because you can make spectral shields, right? Spectral shield. You can make spectral shields. Her ability also allows you to make spectral shields. But she's not really able to do a whole lot with them, right? The only thing that build would end up working out well with is Spectral Rider and Spectral Prowler. And then, of course, you can run Wave of Reality, Prismatic Shields. You can run the Phantasmal Haze. So that way you can play it, and if it gets destroyed, you create a counter. If you play a lot of blues, you can play the Waterglow Lanterns. So you can reveal the top card of your deck. If it's blue, create a Spectral Shield token, go again, and then you can do Transcendence afterwards. But like these are all rares. It's just like there's too many rares, and there's not enough auras in common. So if she's going to be aura heavy, she's going to need to do a lot more. Whereas with new, for instance, right? New, if you're looking at just like the stealth cards, like let's see, CC Assassin, Rarity Common. You have a lot. You have all the contract stuff. You have access to the traps. You have all the all the other stealth cards. You have access to Isolate, Malign, Infect, Wither, Sedate, Plunge, Prowl, all these things. Razor's Edge is great for stealth stuff. It's a Short and Sharp isn't terrible either. There's just a lot. There's a lot here for her compared to that. And then we have to take a look at ninja stuff, right? So ninja stuff says it looks for combo. Now, there isn't a lot of Crouching Tiger stuff in common, which is very unfortunate. I think the only thing we have is Pouncing Key, Key Unleashed. There's another one. Is that it? That's really it? Pouncing Key and Key Unleashed? Those are the only two? So it is. So those are the only two Crouching Tiger cards in common. Obviously, in rares, there's a lot more rares that are for that, right? You have more things to kind of like pump up your next attacks. But even still, even if you strictly wanted to just worry about like combo stuff, I mean, if you're able to still just play a Crouching Tiger from hand, giving it like +1 or something, and then playing Pouncing Key, a 0 for 4, go again, and then playing Crouching Tiger, and then playing a Pouncing Key, 0 for 4, go again, and then swinging like some other stuff. Oh, Predatory Strike. This is the other common card. Predatory Strike. You create 3 Crouching Tigers in your Banner Stone, you may play them this turn. So the only thing that is currently lacking for Zen in this very moment is the fact that he doesn't have anything in common to give his Crouching Tigers +1. So It is very much so. Yeah, the blue's going to be so great for Zen. Create a Crouching Tiger, play it this turn, go again, transcend. It's going to be great. I'm very excited. I'm very excited to see what happens with it. But we also don't know what their weapons do, right? Like, for instance, I wouldn't be surprised if like Zen's weapon is freaking his staff, and it's like whenever Zen hits an opponent, or whenever this hero or whenever this weapon hits, your Crouching Tigers get +1 on your turn or something, which would be way too like simple. But you know how I feel about the flip? What don't you like about it? I like it a lot. I think it's really cool that it's just like, cool, all right, we can shove that back into the deck. Like, I think that's very cool. Also, can you imagine a Benji Crouching Tiger build? Now that's gonna be sick. Oh, Benji can't use the Mystic stuff, so never mind. I guess it just depends on what kind of stuff comes in here. Making sure you flip them at the end of the game world isn't fun. I mean, that's fair. As somebody who plays Dromai, like, I'm already used to flipping my cards. I think it's just something you have to know, you know? You already, and that's why it's lucky that it's at least like a best of 1 and not a best of 3. Because if you had to do that like 2 times in the matter of a match, that's a little different. But everything is best of 1. And so after the game is done, you just make sure that you flip them correct. And obviously, you know, I think it would be totally fine if you pulled a card and then you're, you know, granted, this is like a lot of information, but like you pulled a card and it was a chi card. You could call a judge over and just go, hey, judge, take my hand, go over there, and then flip this card for me because I forgot to do it. Like, I don't think that would be something that judges would be opposed to doing, because it also says what the card is when it's flipped, right? Because you're only able to have one. So when it says like transcended from preserved tradition, that's like, you know, this card is preserved tradition. You just need to flip it back. Yeah, the dragons, it's kind of difficult to tell because like if you're not looking at the bottom where it says like their attack and their health as opposed to their defense value and then no attack, it's different. But I think this is at least like it's enough knowledge to know that like when you flip it, it says where it's from, which means that you know that the card exists in the deck. It's just flipped the wrong way. So, you know, and not to mention that like outside of the fact that like obviously you know you're not going to be able to do this, like they're usually blues that get pitched for 3 anyway, and they just don't pitch for chi. So this is still a blue card in its like intentional nature. It's just doesn't pitch for anything outside of actual energy. Whereas then when you play it, you can flip it and do that. So it is I don't know, it's very interesting. I don't think it's terrible at all. I think it's quite good. But if that's the only hang up is like I have to look through my deck now to flip things, like people have been doing that in Magic for forever. So I think it's just something that's just people aren't used to it. People have to get used to it. You know, you already and that's the other thing too, in competitive events at least, you already look through your entire deck to take your sideboard cards out. So at that point, you just are also taking out the chi cards so you can flip them. And it'd be really easy to know whether or not somebody's cheating Because if they pitch the Chi card, but they've never seen the actual card be played, then they know they're cheating. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the other thing too, is I don't know. It's one of those situations where it's very difficult to actually determine the power level, right? Because like when you look at something like Zen, or you look at something like Enigma, and really just all the heroes, and they're just like, wow, that's incredibly powerful that they get to do these things with Chi, and like it's super great. But like, how many blue cards are you going to have to run now instead of red cards? Because if you're switching out reds for blues, your power level diminishes significantly. And, you know, the only place it doesn't diminish significantly is Enigma. Because Enigma can play freaking Iris of Reality, which is probably not going to be the weapon she plays, but like Enigma can play Iris of Reality and just swing with her spectral shields constantly with all the blues. With Assassin not having any kind of go again in most cases, she's going to have something to where it's like, okay, I'm going to deal damage here, and then I'm going to do this, right? Like I'm assuming Assassin is probably going to go a little bit along the route of like having like utilizing the attack actions, maybe like playing a blue with go again, and then utilizing an attack reaction to pump it for damage, and then Mystic instant to transcend, to then play a blue card from their Banish Zone. Like, there's a lot to it. The same way goes, I mean, Zen is a ninja. Ninjas are going to have a lot there, but like our ninja is going to be playing just blues, right? Because just blue ninja doesn't sound like it's going to work. Just blue ninja does not sound like anything is going to work out there. So I'm very curious. Oh, the blues will be transcended and then have the rest. Yeah, but like you need to play a blue in order for you to get the most benefit from the trans. Like for instance, like preserve. What is this? Preserve Tradition. You need to play a blue card to transcend. And then the same with these. I mean, granted, this is probably not going to see play in Clash, but if you play a blue card, you get 3 value out of it. But if you don't, you get to choose 1. And you'd rather get 3, right? Like the value for that is much better to create a token, do another thing, and then also transcend. So like you're going to want to play a blue before you play a transcend card, which means at that point, like, what are you doing? That's why I think like Ninja is going to be really good for it, because ninjas can play like blue head jab and be like, all right, sick. Or blue surging strike. Like, oh, cool. All right. Like you play blue surging strike, you have Zen come out. Zen will then go ahead and get Descendant Gust Wave or whatever he wants to do. He can make his Tiger. Because if it's blue, this is also like huge because Tiger Stripe Shuko, see Ninja, power 2. So with Go again, let's see. Bleed Out, this is crazy. Bonds 2, this gets buffed by is Surging 2 also that? Or Descendant? Yeah, Descendant's at 1. So you just play a weird blue line ninja. Just come in with like a really big attack. Yeah. Yep. And I think that's the thing. You have to have transcended that turn in order to do those things, right? Like if you've transcended this turn, it gets +5. That does not mean that if you've transcended it all, it means that you need to have transcended this turn. So this is incredibly powerful because it's like, okay, cool. I come in with an attack that's a blue. Okay, I'm going to before you choose blockers at instant speed, I'm going to play Sacred Art Undercurrent or whatever, Sacred Art Undercurrent Desires. I'm going to create a Fang, Strike, and Slither in hand, and then I'm going to banish 2 cards from your grave, and then I'm going to transcend, and then during attack reactions, Tide Chakra is going to come in, give that 2 attack, like that one blue stealth infect plus 5, and it'll be a 6 power infect. Yes, yeah. Yep, they are instant. So, but you need, and that's the other thing too, is like as long as you've transcended, right? So it'll be perfect. So you could attack, react, then you can Sacred Art. This resolves. Now you've transcended. Now this triggers. Now it's got an additional +2 to it. It's for every blue card you've pitched this turn, I believe. This one, Why Blue Yonder? +1 for each blue card you've pitched this turn. So that's going to be a little bit more weird because you're probably at most pitching 2 blue cards a turn. So it's going to get +2. I don't think this is a very good card, if I'm being entirely honest. Unless there's a way for you to pitch like 5 blues in a fucking turn. But because like for this, right, this costs 1. So you have to... Yeah, +2 for a blue reaction. Yeah, it's above rate for sure, but it also only blocks for 2. And it's, I don't know, I feel like it's really specific, but I guess it's Mystic, right? Like it's going to be specific to Mystic decks. But I just think about like the amount of resources you need, right? Let's say you play a blue Infect for 1, right? Play a blue Infect for 1, and then you pitch a blue from hand to play Tide Chakra. Then you pitch a red from hand to play Sacred Art Undercurrent Desires. So, what is that? You have to have the one in Arsenal, 4 cards in hand, pitch a blue and then a red. Or a red and then a blue, however that works. Pitch a red for Tide Chakra and then pitch a blue for the other one, which means that now you're left with nothing in hand, and all you did was you transcended. Well, actually, this goes back to your hand. I'm just kidding. That's an insane thing. This is a free card. You pitch a blue, you play it, you get all 3 effects, and then you get a blue back to your hand. Oh, God. Shit, this is busted. Ugh. A blue that pitches for chi, nonetheless. So now you're getting... So you have a blue in hand, you have your inner chi in hand, it's the only thing you have, and then a Fang and Strike or whatever. So you get whatever token. You get to banish stuff from their grave, probably blues, so you can use News ability. Then, which you don't have to pay the cost for the blues with News ability. Ugh, so gross. And then you get to come in with like an Infect for 6, right? Like an Infect for 6. And then I'm assuming this Fang, Strike, and Slither is probably an attack reaction. I'm not sure. It could be, but maybe we'll learn more. Yeah, the Transcend cards it's free. I mean, especially this one, right? Like it's literally, you don't have to pitch anything for this. It's called 0. It's called 0. This is a 0 cost card. You play it, you flip it, you get your resources back. Play Transcend Blues and Assassins. Since they come back around, you'll have to double up on playing cards with Transcend in a turn. Yeah. I mean, it very well could be the case. I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, you're going to be playing the Transcend cards anyway. Like, I think that's just like the motive. Because especially with News ability, like in second cycle, where your opponent's deck has way more blues than they do reds at this point, probably, you're going to be able to just go, okay, cool. Pitch a chi, banish the top card, because it's going to be a blue probably. And if it's not, whatever. You don't need to use your next chi, because now you still get to use their blues from banish. And now you get to do whatever. And then it's like, okay, cool. I pitch a chi, banish a blue. Okay, let's do that again. I pitch a chi, banish another blue. I now banish 2 cards from the top of your deck that were resources that you needed. And I get to play them on my turn for free. Huge. Yeah, I think limited new is going to be the nuttiest thing. That's the thing. Enigma needs to have really good auras or spectral shield generation in common in order for her to be really good and limited. Zen, not terrible, because I'm assuming that he's going to have his staff, right? It's probably a 2-handed weapon, I'd imagine, right? You're probably having the fan for new, or like maybe like a dagger of some kind, right? Because obviously daggers, assassins. And then Enigma's probably going to be using that freaking scroll thing, right? So the scroll either has to make more, or like turn off ward or something dumb like that. Zen's 2-handed weapon probably not going to be terrible, but I feel like if I'm going to force anybody in limited, it's going to be new or Zen. I don't think I'm going to touch Enigma unless Enigma is just like the nuts. Like, I have to pull nothing but 3 block blues and just be able to make spectral shield tokens and just wear out my opponent. Because this Enigma is going to be the fatigue build in most cases. Hit blue cards, block for 1 less. Wow. Whoa. That would be wild. It would be wild, but it also really suck for fucking suck for limited. Well, I mean, it could be like when this hits, create a Fang, Strike, and Slither in your hand, right? I mean, it's probably, if it's a dagger, it's probably going to be piercing, and it's going to be when this hits, create one of these things in your hand, or it's going to be, look at the top card of your opponent's deck, like, and that's it. Or maybe like your opponent can't play their arsenal card next turn or some nonsense. That would be insane. Could you imagine? It's like a 1 power dagger coming in with go again. You pitch for it. It costs 2. You attack, and on hit, your opponent can't use their arsenal next turn. I feel like that would be way too busted, but obviously that's not happening. There's no way. There'd be no reason for that to happen. Also, can we just talk about how cool the frame is for Mystic Assassin? It's like a jade kind of concept. Jade blades. And then like the Mystic Ninja. Super cool. Like the misty sword blades down here. The Mystic Illusionist. That's so pretty. Damn, that's pretty. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm very excited about this. Very excited about all the stuff here. I think Path to Mistveil is an insane set. I can't wait to play all 3 of these heroes. I do need to pick up some auras though, because if I am going to be playing Enigma in any way, shape, or form in what am I here cards? Then I need to pick up auras. I need 3 Shimmers of Silver, which I think is going for quite a bit now. $7 for first ed. That's not terrible, actually. So $7, I can get 3 copies of this. I think I need 1 more copy of Haze Bending. And then I just need to get, I have Blessing of Spirits. I need to get, damn it, I should have just done this. Phantom Tidemaw is not terrible either. It is a ward card. It is a ward aura. So this is kind of huge, actually. Now, after seeing her Immortal Lunar thing, right? Does it say put a +1 on aura? On each aura with ward you control. This is an aura with ward. How much is that going for? $12. Yikes. Because this is going to be good. If there's a way to protect this, and just like whenever something's destroyed, you just come in with a card with Phantasm, they destroy it, +1 on Phantom Tidemaw. Play another card with Phantasm. Well, that's the thing. I guess this also has Phantasm, so it's not that great. I lied. Unless you're able to semblance this in a crazy way. It's much easier to then just play the Spectre shit. You just play Pierce, Passing. I already have a Miraging Metamorph. This is good though. You run 3 of these in that deck for sure. Coalescence Mirage. Yeah, put an aura in. That's good. That's good. Oh, it was. I mean, Phantom Tidemaw is just Phantom Tidemaw is just Ghostly Touch, but it's got Ward 1. So, and it doesn't cost anything to attack with. But that's the thing, is like you also didn't have a way to attack with this unless you were playing like Iris of Reality. And in that case, it still has Phantasm, which means you still have to remove the ability to be popped from it. And then you have Ward 1 on it, which means that if any damage leaks through, this just gets destroyed. So I'm not sure it's like good, but it is an expansion slot card, and now it's like $12. So I used to collect all M's, especially the cheap M's when I played CC. See, that's actually something I'm doing, Nathan. It's actually something I'm doing. I looked online and I saw all the different like elemental M's that are like worth nothing now. And I was like, oh, I should pick all those up. And so like every M under like $5, I'm going to probably just pick up, because I'd rather have them for when those heroes become relevant again than not and miss the boat and have to pay like $10 for them, you know? Evo expansion, they are going crazy. They are odd. I'm telling you, it's insane. What else came out in Evo? Set Evo. Because a lot of this stuff is really like a huge setup for this. Already Dead? Yeah, Already Dead. Oh my god. I'm mad because I'm not going to have my other 2 Already Deads by the time ProQuest happens, but I'm just going to play in ProQuest anyway, even though I don't have Already Deads. I need 2 more and I don't have them. I did get a Shriek Razors though. Very cool. I'm assuming this is probably going to be played in maybe new. Tectonic Rift hasn't seen a whole lot of work, but this is good. Create X Seismic Surge tokens. Wax Off. If you've played Wax On, create a Zen State token. I don't remember what Zen State does though, because I didn't play Zen State. Emboldened Blade's been good for Dory for a while. Toxicating Shot's a great Riptide spec. Sonata Phantasmia, this card's cracked. I still think this card is absolutely fucking insane. I don't know how you're reaching this without like Bloodsheath Skeleton coming back, but like Sonata Phantasmia is a crazy card. Contest the Minefield. Well, this is Contest the Minefield. Doesn't really like it doesn't help a whole lot. Tide Maw, Tome of Imperial Flame is actually going down in price because Dromai is about to LL. Dust is also going down. These cards, Tunic is obviously Tunic, but like these two cards aren't really like doing a whole lot. Warband I know is used in Bolton, but Slay doesn't fucking do anything. Doesn't do anything at all. Scrap Starstruck because it went down trying to get all the specs. Yeah. The specs are going to be the hardest to get for Clash because obviously like if a hero becomes super relevant, they just like go nuts. But I think even like the heavy stuff is pretty crazy too. I think a lot of the stuff that came out in this expansion slot does really well too. I even think like Ripple Away is kind of wild and make tokens. That's going to be important. But Ancestral Harmony, this card, it's a blue, and it works with combo. I think this is a card that goes in Zen, and like that's pretty fucking cool. It blocks for 3, attacks with combo, get +1, and then you banish top card of your deck if it has combo. You can play it this turn. This is a great way to start off your Zen turns. So I actually only need one more. Judge and Executioner. Everybody's running this in Azalea. It's just a good card. Reel in. Well, it's reel in. Galaxia is actually pretty good. I think Galaxia is doing okay for itself. Luminaris obviously is necessary to play Prism. Dissolve Reality might be an interesting one. It's a yellow, so obviously it seems like Prism wants to run this. But I guess that's all depending on whether or not they think their opponent has it down and dirty. And then Aether Arc. Just does Aether Arc. But yeah. Ancestral Harmony, this card probably went up a lot. $8. That's actually not bad. I'd probably pick up 3 more copies of that if I were me. Aether Arc's being run on everything, is it? Okay. Yeah, $8.89. I don't know. I think I might pick up 2 more of these. Yeah. Yeah, blue, 1 Arcane Ponder. I might pick up 2 more of these. These are really good. Like, really good. So, that might be something I do. I'd say Ancestral Harmony is a great pick. Man, I don't know. There's just like so much that is with the set I'm really, really excited about. I'm excited to see Spectral Shields come back because I've been wanting to do like Spectral Prowler, Spectral Rider things. Not to mention the fact that it seems like she's going to be making a lot of Spectral Shield tokens, right? This makes 2 Spectral Shields tokens, puts a +1/+1 counter, or a +1/+1, a +1 counter on them. She also can make Spectral Shields with her Chi ability. So with this alone, you can make 3 Spectral Shields. And if that's the case, then cards like Spectral Procession are probably going to be pretty okay. Actually, Spectral Procession. It's got Phantasm. See, this is actually genuinely why I don't want to fucking play Illusionist anymore. I am sick of Phantasm. I understand that it's necessary for the hero because if they didn't have Phantasm, this deck would be top tier every single day, no matter what. Like, if Dromai's Dragons didn't have Phantasm, she'd have been LL'd by now. It dropped off and now they're back to holding value, which is great. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that's the whole concept, right? Again, a big deal with Flesh and Blood, something that it took me a while to notice, but I got the hang of it, is that when a hero is no longer relevant, their M's and their legendaries, even specifically, will go down in price. Pretty, like, a lot. But when the hero then becomes relevant again, because these heroes aren't like dead, and they're not, they're gonna get their own redemption in some way, some form, and be able to utilize these cards, and not to mention the fact that it's class specific M's too. So, any of the earth and lightning and ice and the light and shadow and any of the ninja M's from back then and any of the warrior M's, all of these things, if the hero in class isn't relevant, then they're down in price, which is a great time to buy them. But when they are hyped because a new thing is coming out and everybody seems super hyped about it, everybody goes to the market and they scoop them all up. And then the next thing you know, the price is like 10 times what you bought it for. I think it's unfortunate what happened with Berserk, because with Berserk being banned, I understand why they did it, but it is rough for the people who are just like, yeah, I'm specking on Berserk hard, because I think Berserk it's an M that nobody cared about from Dynasty, and then all of a sudden KO got released and everybody was like, what the fuck is that? Like, yes, I'll play Berserk, but it rose in price dramatically. I should have sold it before it got banned, because I have one and I don't plan to play KO. I do plan to pick up his Armory deck, though. That'd be nice. But yeah, I'm very happy to see that, because, like, let's go to TCG Play real quick. So if I go to Flesh and Blood, Shop Hall, because this is kind of the wild thing here. If we go to cards, and then we go down to Majestic, and then we go to low to high. So Flicker Wisp, 8 cents. I don't know what this card does, but I'm assuming it's not anything crazy. Exactly, right? And I think that's the other thing, is like being a specialist in a class is really, really helpful. That's honestly how I feel, because I was playing Ninja and Illusionist. And so I have a Mask of Momentum, I have a Tiger Stripe Shuko, I have a decent amount of the M's needed for most ninja stuff. And so when they were like, hey, here's a new ninja with Crouching Tiger stuff, I was like, shoot, I don't have any of the Crouching Tiger stuff. So I went to go pick it up. But I have nearly everything for Illusionist. Assassin, I didn't have anything at all, so I had to get it, which I am now a proud owner of 3 copies of Codex of Frailty. Do I feel good about it? Not really, but this card is insane, and it will always be good in Living Legend, and now it's 70 freaking dollars. I bought them for like 40 a piece. So the fact that I could sell all 3 of these for, was that $210? Oh my god. Probably like $200 if I just like had to sell all 3. Crazy. Anyway, these are all M's that are under, like, well under $1. So you've got all these ones that just didn't see play. Combustion Point didn't see play. Fulminate didn't see play, it seems. Thaw saw play, but now Ice isn't in the meta, so now nobody plays Thaw. Pretty much a lot of the stuff from Aria is low. You're buying Ice Coast? Dude, you should. You should. That's what I'm going to do. I'm buying literally everything that is under, like, $2, really under $5. I'll probably buy a playset for, because this is great. Like, you do all of this here. You've got 1 page. Let's see, 2 pages. 3 pages. 4 pages. How many pages did we get to before any of these cards are even $1? Still going. Still going. Kind of still going. I think we're almost here. That's $1, but not. I mean, not quite. But this is more like it. These are all like dollar-ish cards. So 11 pages of Majestics at what is that? 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. So 24 times 11. So that's how many Majestic. Really, it's 10. I would say 10 is probably it. So 24 times 10, 240 play sets of Majestics you can buy for under $1 for a bunch of different heroes. And you know, like the second that Aria becomes relevant again, like spiking in price. So, yeah, that's the thing. And then what? So now there's what 11 to 22. So there's 11 pages of ones over. Let's see how far we get until we get to $5 for a Majestic. $5 for a Majestic. Where are we going to sit at? Right here. This is it. So, like half page. So, 15 and a half pages are under $5. This is an extended art version of this, by the way. A lot of this is probably like also alt art versions of things too, so it's probably less technically, but I mean, shoot, like all these cards doing super well. And then of course you moved up to the last one, and the last one's probably like, yeah, like the extended arts and the very pretty things. CNC. Damn, how is the Arcane Rising CNC going for less than the History Pack one? Strange. Art of War is only $33. That's not terrible. Man. But like, see, man, this is something you hate to see. Let's go back here real quick. So the fact that Already Dead and Codex of Frailty, two cards that are like necessary to play Assassin, are on the top page hurts my soul. Hurts my wallet. Pull that one sold it because it was like 150. Yeah. And now look at it, right? It's really pretty. I mean, I'd need to pick one up for myself, but yeah, near mint, $100. Very, very pretty. I don't know that it's my favorite alt art though. Oh yeah. That would be a cool playmat. Golly. Yeah. And then like a lot of these, like this says 90 cents, but I'm sure that's just because like these are all market prices too. This is probably an unlimited Crippling Crush, whereas the $31 is probably like a First Ed Crippling Crush. Yeah, First Ed normal Crippling Crush is $31. So, yeah, like Fulminate. What is this? Earth and or Lightning Fusion. If it was fused with an Earth card, attack actions you control get +3 until end of turn. And then if Fulminate was fused with a Lightning card, attack actions you control gain go again this turn. This card is cracked. What? What? Was this card used in Briar back in the day? Like, this card's good. What? Are you shitting me right now? I see. I mean, what? You play it from Arsenal, pitch a blue, reveal an Earth and a Lightning card that you're going to use that turn. Reveal like a, I don't know, I guess you'd have to pitch for them, right? But like, what are, it might be a lot. Anyway, point being is that you should pick up any Majestic that is super cheap. And the fact that you can get like 14 pages of them for under $2, it's kind of crazy. Yeah. I mean, I guess it's just like a, I don't know, +3 to your next to all of your attack actions and +3 and go again to all of your attack actions. I feel like that's kind of really good for 2 and double fuse, but it probably is just like a lot. So maybe we'll see what they do with it when we go to Arya again. Yeah, could be. There weren't like Earth attacks? I mean, what's like Evergreen? Curious. Yeah, wait, let's just do this here. Let's go attack, I guess action. Earth. Yeah, Autumn's Touch, Virgin. Oh, this card was banned, right? This card banned? No. Yeah, that was the other thing, right? Is that like the Earth cards were also really costly, right? It costs a lot to play them. You didn't have like, yeah, and even still, yeah, there were only 1, 2, 3, 4. No, 1, yeah, 4 attack actions in Earth. Not exactly a lot. Oh, I'm learning a lot about the actual like lore behind Arya. I wish I was playing during the set. The set seems so cool. Seems sick. Lightning cards. I wish Lightning was so cool. Can't believe this card got banned. Whenever you play an action card, you may pay a resource. If you do, it gains go again. Beginning of your end phase, put a flow counter. Oh. That's very cool. I like it a lot. I don't know. There's just a lot here. But I mean, even still, like I'm very curious to see. It's something you should always do. Is you should always pick up old M's that aren't in use, and that's why I brought up what I was doing was I was making like a loadout for heroes, right? So that way, hold on. Jeez Louise. Whew. Yeah, the pulses are 2 elements, right? So pretty powerful. Yeah, so I think what I wanted to do is I wanted to make like a binder with a whole bunch of stuff. So where like if I wanted to make like a Living Legend deck or I wanted to make a CC deck, I can just take cards out of the armory and then or for the loadout, right? I can just choose the binder to be like, okay, this hero is a elemental Runeblade. So I need to look up elemental cards. I need to look up the talent cards for elements and for lightning and earth. and then go to my generic binder where I'll have all the generics in it. So it's going to be a lot, but I want to be able to have them. So in case, the next set after this has like an insane hero that I also want to play, I'll just be like, well, shoot, right? I think the one thing I'm always excited about is when I see new heroes, I know that their living legend points are going to be 0. So I'm going to be able to play them for a really long time. But for Clash and Commoner, I think, I don't know. We still have to see. We have to see more, because Commoner, I think new can do some insane shit. I think Zen can do some insane stuff. Obviously, Ninja is dominating Commoner. Speaking of, also, by the way, I saw that Dice Commando did a interview with the guy who won the gold foil at PTLA for the Commoner event, and on his Icelander build. And I think it just goes to show you, like, Icelander's like there to stay, man. Icelander and Ira probably, and then like the Decimator Axe builds. That's like the meta right now. Like, if you're not playing any of those, it's very rough. I guess you could play Oldhim too, but like Oldhim is just like an awful thing. So, but I'm curious to see what these bring. I'm curious to see if we can just get a stealth card with Go again. Like an innate stealth card with Go again. Because when you look at like Prowl doesn't have Go again. But when you play Arachne Solitary Confinement, it does. Right? And so I think they made Prowl specifically for ACS or ASC, but not for anybody else. So I don't know. But I'm just really excited. I'm just really excited to play new. I'm really excited. New is going to be a lot of fun. I do think Enigma is going to be fun too. I really want to get those Shimmers of Silver and like the rest of the auras. They don't have those. And then I just need to figure out everything else, I think. Get that all stated. But very, very happy with how the set's looking. I also wanted to talk about a more competitive thing here. For ProQuest season, I am going to be playing Assassin. Now, I don't normally play a lot of CC. CC is just kind of like a very big money dump to me. But the reason I was still comfortable having my deck in CC is because it was Dromai, and I kind of never expected Dromai to win a big event, and that she was only ever going to win these like Pro Quests and Road to Nationals and stuff. And so I wasn't worried about her hitting Living Legend a whole lot, so I didn't worry about buying anything for other heroes. But now that she's 4 points away from Living Legend, and she will get these 4 points over this ProQuest season this month, it is looking rough. So I had to change in order for me to at least want to go to my armory. Obviously, I can wait until May and pick up a KO deck and see how that works out. I think I will regardless. But I am curious to see how it all works out. And I really want to kind of power through things with Assassin, because I wanted to get the Assassin stuff anyway, because I do want to play new. So I'm kind of just getting myself ready for that. So I spent like a ton of money on stuff. I bought so much, you guys. I bought a lot. Not only that, but I think I might be going to like 3 or 4 Pro Quests this month. I'm feeling new is going to be great in CC. I don't know. I mean, I guess I just don't know. I'm assuming a lot of people are going to want to play her, but I don't know if she's going to be good either. It's all just depending on what cards we get in the set, right? What's up, Tomas? How are you? How are things? Like, I've already had my E-Strikes and my C&Cs. So that's a good portion of the deck. I have my Leave No Witnesses, my Eradicates, and my Surgicals. I've got my 3 copies of Codex of Frailty, which is really, really crazy how much that card is worth now. And that's probably like a good portion of it. It's probably like I don't know. This is probably like $400 plus in cards right here. And then we have the equipment where I have I got myself a Balance of Justice. So now I have a balance. That was looking to make a gross Oldham in Clash. Oh god. Ew. As long as I don't have to play it during the top 8. I already had a Tunic. I also got the Flick Knives. And I got the Black Deck Whisperers. So this is like another $200 in cards plus. So probably looking at like $700 deck or something right now, which is kind of insane. I don't know. I'm not. I'm doing it because I want to play it because I do like how Assassin plays. I think I'm just curious how they're going to make Assassin play in this next set. Because Mystic Assassin is going to play different than Azuri is. And I think that's really the important part. So that's why I don't play CC anymore. Yeah, no, I don't blame you. I mean, to be fair, like, I'm spending that money either way. Like, if I was able to find a place that had Commoner as their armory every night, I wouldn't have to spend this kind of money. But if I want to get the promos and I want to, like, actually win like prizes and stuff and get XP, I have to play Classic Constructed. So it is rough. So we're gonna get Vincent. Well, and that's, you know, at least with Vincent, she's not top tier right now. So you don't really have to spend a whole lot. I'd say that probably the most expensive thing is probably still Spellbound, but yeah, if you don't have a place to regularly play anymore, I get why not wanting to do that. But like, I kind of want to, like, I want to make it like my mission to continue to go to armories because I feel like I really get in tune with my community. I make new friends. I do that whole thing. And like, I can't do that if I just play online. So what the hell am I doing on this website? Balance of Justice. That's what it was. Balance of Justice. Yeah, that went up a lot. Fuck. So like, I don't know. I'm not like, as much as I don't like spending the money on the cards, I'm at least happy knowing that we live in a world where, you know, you can play in the Living Legend format with that hero if you really want to. You can play in some other format. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the other thing too, right? Like, if I for some reason am super hyped on a certain hero and I don't want to play Dromite anymore, when Dromite comes back, I can just be like, oh, let me sell my Flamescale Furnace for like 2 times the cost of what I paid for it. But, and at least with like, I'm still surprised Codex of Frailty is as much as it is. Like when Lexi Living Legend, I thought for sure that Codex was going to go down to like $20. I thought for sure. But Assassins were still like, yeah, I'm using this card, obviously. Because like it's literally the most insane amount of value you can get out of a card in most cases. So card's just good. So I was like, shit, okay. And then of course I didn't wait until after they announced a new assassin. Was I just like, yeah, I'll buy Codex of Frailty. So, but I'm happy I get to use this. My cold foil spider's bite that I won. I get to use that. I have I need to get 2 more, but I have the cold foil tokens. I need to get 2 more, so I have the frailty and the frailty and the ponder. And those don't cost too much. I think it's like $4 for a token or something. So no, that's so no, Nathan, no. No damaging tokens or no damaging spider's bites. Stop with that. Man, I don't know. I'm just so like I'm so incredibly hyped for everything that has to do with the set. Like I'm mad because I'm just like, "Oh yeah, no, I'll go ahead and I'll make sure to just kind of play what I can, and obviously I'm doing a lot of stuff for Clash and Commoner. So like I should be caring more about buying cards for that. Like, you know how many Commoner and Clash decks I could have bought for the like $400 I spent on Missouri? What? Like what? Jesus. Like I could have spent so much. What in the fuck? What is this? Oh, rip. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think I just like I want to be able to get more people into the game. I want to make more friends out here in Colorado that play Flesh and Blood, and I also want to get them into Commoner and Clash so I can play those. Um like I really wish that like every Friday instead of me going to my LGS to play Commander, that I could get a bunch of people to come over to like my house or an LGS and play Commoner or Clash, and we can do like an event where we play one-on-one against each other the whole night, and the winner, I don't know, we give like the trophy to a winner, and then they bring that trophy the next night and they go, okay, I've got the trophy, like who's fighting for my title? I think it'd be great. But you know it's i, I just like I want to do that. Meet up at a brewery to get some people, yeah, probably. And there are quite a few quite a few breweries out here that actually host like card game night things. So I don't know, but I need to get like people. The only person that out of my friend group out here that I currently have that will even give me the time of day to play Flesh and Blood is my best friend. And he still is like super deep into Magic and not super deep into Flesh and Blood, but that's fine because obviously Magic is more his thing. He spent a lot of money on Magic, and so he's kind of like sunk cost fallacied himself into playing Magic. But I think overall he still has the want to play. He still likes playing Flesh and Blood. He just doesn't have anything for it, nor does he have the ability to play it as frequently. Whereas like everybody at his work plays Magic. Like he's got like a group of like 12 people that all play Magic. And so he's like, cool, I can just play Magic with them. Yeah, absolutely. So that's why I'm trying to, go to my local armory scene. Some of the people know me, right? Like, I mean, I've been there enough to where I'm sure people know my face. Um, but I've not got. I think I've maybe gone. I've gone to 4 armories, and entered them. I've gone to 5 technically, but I didn't enter my 5th one. This was just last week. I wanted to enter yesterday's armory, but I didn't because I don't have all my stuff for Azuri yet. It's probably in the mail right now, so hopefully I get that all in. I wanted to get a little bit more testing in before ProQuest, but I just don't know. Like, I got all this stuff for Azuri, so I have a deck to play at Armories, but now I'm like, God, I really want to go to a ProQuest? I'm probably going to do awful. But no, I have to get out of the mindset, because like I don't want to play Dromai for an armory and then like she's leaving in like a week. So I'm fine. You know, I won 2 armories with Dromai, 3 armories with Dromai. And so I'm happy with what I've done with her. But I wanted to get some testing in for Assassin because I really just didn't like I know how to play Assassin, but I'm not like committed to knowing. I just like I'm kind of like, okay, cool. How do I block efficiently? Block it, come in for 4 damage on hit, banish a card. Okay. This one's got stealth on it, and I have a card in hand. What am I going to do? You'll never know. Shitty Hatch's story back in Everfest. It was funny when I didn't have dynamos. Yeah. And that's what I thought about too. I just didn't know what I had. I'm also like, not to obviously keep making excuses, because it seems to be the case that that's what I'm doing. But like, work was like, I'm just like always exhausted after work. And Wednesday is like my Friday, because I have Thursday, Friday, Saturday off unless I pick up a shift. And so I came home yesterday and I was just like, do I have the mental fortitude to go play a card game? Or do I just want to stay home and chill? And that's just what I decided to do. I was just like, yeah, I'm going to just chill. But some days I'm like really excited about it, right? And once this deck is like fully built out, because like I'm not going to buy already deads. I might buy a already dead like every other week or something. But I'm not going to buy 2 already deads right now. Like that's way too much. And those will probably be the only like 2 cards I'm missing from the deck after everything is in the mail. So I'm just like, I think I'm probably just going to put in things like Humble or Erase Face, maybe. Because I do have Erase Face. So you don't have the mental fortitude to play Fi. Yeah, no kidding, right? No kidding. I do have a Fi deck, but yeah. I thought about also running Wreck Havoc. I'm not sure whether or not that's like a good play, but I feel like Wreck Havoc is just like, you can't play D-Reacts to it, which is kind of like the big deal. And D-Reacts are normally just the thing that's put in Arsenal. So for me to be like, Wreck Havoc, can't play D-Reacts, gotta block it. And if I hit you, you take, you flip up your card in your arsenal, and if it's not a D-React, it doesn't get destroyed, but at least I have the information. Oh, absolutely. I have CNCs, luckily. I'm thinking about running them as well as CNCs. Because it's still a target for Azuri, but it allows me to get information on their arsenal, or it gets 2 cards from their hand and lets me know that that's a D-React. Because I think it's great. But yeah, so I don't know. I'm curious though. Like, I wonder how much of this deck is actually rares and commons, and can I kind of play it in Clash? Obviously, put CNC in an armory deck. They won't. I don't think they will. I mean, they might, but I also think like a guarantee if they put CNC in the armory deck. If they put a CNC in the armory deck, I think the deck will get scalped at that rate. Because it's one thing to have good brute cards in there. It's another thing to have good generic cards that are used for every single deck in an armory deck.
I made that whole video where I was just like, is this product going to be scalped? And I was like, maybe not, right? It's a future one, I think. Well, maybe. I don't know. Like, I also think, again, like, they want the heroes to be more thematic to what they have to do, which is why they're fine making new cards that are like other cards, but for these classes. Because you're going to get new cards in there as well as reprints. But like, if CNC is run in nearly every deck, and so the only way that a deck is going to come out, if it's going to have CNC in it, it's going to be picked up by a lot of people because the CNC market is just like incredibly good. Like, it's incredibly good. Could you imagine buying a CNC or buying a KO Armory deck for $40 and flipping 2 cards in the deck for over like 100? That'd be crazy. So yeah, but like it has to build up before it crashes. And so people already aren't going to like do a ton of stuff for it. People aren't going to be selling their CNCs because there's a new CNC in the Armory deck. Like if they put like 1 copy in there, maybe, but I don't know. Like if they make an assassin deck and don't put codex in, then I just, all right. Well, so I think that's the other thing, right? You got to look at something like the Blitz decks. The Blitz decks are not Blitz viable. So I don't believe the Armory decks are going to be top tier, best way to play the hero Armory decks. I believe it is going. You don't even get a sideboard with it, mind you. You don't get a sideboard. You just get 60 cards raw with equipment. So I'm assuming you're going to get 4 pieces of equipment, weapons, and then the cards inside the deck. I think an assassin deck without Codex of Frailty still has a chance. I mean, I won 2 armories on Dromai without Tome of Imperial Flame. Like, it's not that the cards are necessary, it's that they're good. So you can play as long as you learn to play the hero, you can eventually just buy upgrades for it, right? Like, all right, cool. Like I bought a new, let's say new gets an armory deck. You buy new and it doesn't come with any Codex of Frailties. So maybe you go out and buy one. Now you have 1 Codex of Frailty. You just slowly start upgrading the deck, right? But I think it's just so people can buy a deck on Armory Night and enter. Because you couldn't do that normally with Blitz decks. Because they did an Azuri without CNC. It's not good Azuri. I think, again, you can just put Wreck Havocs in there if you really wanted to. Or Amnesia. Or, in Commoner, you use Cut Down to Size. There's plenty of things that are like possible choices for CNC. Obviously, CNC is the best version of that type of card, but it's not necessary for you to win. It's just really good. So if you're looking to upgrade your deck, you have a direct upgrade. You can take these 6 power, 3 block, 2 cost reds in your deck, and you can go, which ones don't do me a whole lot? Take them out, put them in, or put in a CNC when I eventually can afford one, and then you just slowly upgrade your deck over time. But I don't think Azuri. I don't think that's where like my whole thing is, right? That's especially after winning those armories without Tome of Imperial Flame. I didn't have any tomes in that deck, and everybody who is on Dromai these days, even before she LL'd, or is soon to LL, everybody is like, you have to be on tomes. If you're not playing tomes, you're ruining your life, because like, why wouldn't you? The tome is nothing but positive value. But I was able to win an armory without tomes. You're not going to be able to win the Pro Tour without tomes, or maybe even a Pro Quest without tomes. But you're gonna, maybe, if you're lucky enough and you can play correctly and you know the ins and outs of your hero, you can play a deck without these crazy powerful Majestics and still win. It's all just about sequencing and knowing what your heroes do and how to best work around your matchups. Like I still can't even believe the last armory I won was like a 4-round armory. I went against such insane opponents. And it was crazy powerful. And I didn't think I was there. I was undefeated. Round 4 was against the Dromai. I had to do a mirror match. I did a mirror match against a Dromai who was running tomes. They were running Aaron Shance's build from Worlds. Like everything. They had everything. They got all the Marvel Dragons. They got everything. They were prepared for doing this. And they had only been playing for like, I don't know, a few months. And this is what they stuck on. They put everything they had into it. And I beat them. They had 3 tomes in their deck, and I beat them with no tomes in my deck. It was very close, but I got there. And so it's again, it's not about what cards are in your deck. It's about how you can utilize your resources against those cards if you run into them. And then, obviously, if you know you can get a direct upgrade for your deck, you can just buy it. Hope they pick good cards to put in, because it's no, we're not putting in because seconds. Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think send packing is a good choice, right? I think send packing is something they could put in there. That makes sense, right? That is a card in which it is very thematic for Brute to do this nearly the same thing CNC does, right? Just different, right? In a different way. They could release KO and have his weapon be, a mini meat axe, and people are going to be like, well, this deck sucks, right? Like, it's really the weapon choices, the equipment choices are like the more important part, I guess. But like the stuff inside of the deck, it's probably going to have a playset of good M's for Brute, maybe even a Castbones reprint, or a Beast Within reprint, a Bloodrush Bellows reprint. Like, those are cards that like already they do a lot for the market, but like they're not incredibly like overpriced, and they're all Brute cards. Those are all Brute cards that care about doing Brute things. Like, I would imagine to see Bloodrush Bellows in there. That's what I'd expect. I expect Bloodrush Bellows. I expect Beast Withins, and I'd expect maybe some Send Packings, right? And those playset of all 3 of those M's is fine. The rest of it can be rares and commons, because that's still a lot of stuff to go through for, you have Pulpings and Wild Rides and Bear Fangs and, Assault and Battery and all these things. Like, it's not like they're taking a top 8, a top 8 calling KO deck, recreating it 1-to-1, and then adding some new cards in there too. So, to promote getting the new set to upgrade the deck, I agree. I think so too. I think that's how it'll work out. What's up, 7 Foot? How are you, man? I just hope I can do my Blitz ASC deck for under $100, please. Yeah, well, not while Assassin is as prominent as it is, because you're hard pressed. A lot of Assassin stuff, especially since Stealth. You're gonna get a lot of new Stealth cards for ASC. I don't know whether or not it's going to be like insane, but let's see. Rare, common, majestic, common, majestic, common, Majestic, common. Majestic, common, chameleon. Just like that. As much as I love the class, I dislike it being good. Well, that's it again. Like, that's just my whole thing, right? I am a big advocate of when you are looking to do something like change heroes or do something of the sort, look towards the lowest performing class and buy the stuff for that class, because that means that that class is probably going to be getting resources to make it a little bit better in the coming sets, and those cards will then increase in price significantly and you'll already have them. That's not to say that you also couldn't buy the expensive pieces currently at this price, because that's just the case. Like, I don't expect Black Tech Whisperers to get a reprint in Part the Mistveil. Like, I don't think it'll happen. But I'm working from home for almost 2 months. Enjoy these. Oh, well, thanks, Seven. I appreciate that. I'm happy I can give you some entertainment during the day since you're stuck at home. But hopefully work's been going good for you. It's always good to see you. We're just we got done chit-chatting about Part the Mistveil, talking about some stuff there. Now we're just talking about classes. Cards I want. Oh, my class deck shiny. See, and that's the other thing too, right? Like, you could also just then go, hey, let's go ahead and bling out our low budget decks and then a little bit better. I won't play with rainbow foils in my deck though, if I can help it. So no CC proof for me. Oh yeah, I see. Well, I mean, that's the thing. You can always still buy the KO Armory deck, and then you at least have a actual brute deck to play. Like, I'm personally going to be once that deck comes out, if I'm able to secure one, I'm going to be buying a KO deck and entering my armory with a KO deck unchanged to see how well it does into that, because I think it's going to be very interesting. And I think that's the other thing too. If you can get a base amount of stuff from these armory decks, it won't include a sideboard, it won't include legendary equipment, it won't include super powerful generic M's, I'd imagine, but I believe that this is going to be a great way to get people to be like, hey, I want to switch classes because this class is, this hero that I have is soon to LL, or maybe I'm tired of playing them and I want to try something else, but I don't want to go about finding out what deck to build and how to build it and where current things happen. It's just like, cool, I can buy this armory deck, I can sleeve it up, and I can enter the armory that night without needing to worry about how it all works, right? Makes Infiltrate more expensive, so I can sell them for another Codex of There you go. I actually just bought all 2 copies of my Codex of Frailty because I pulled one back in the day. And I actually bought 3 copies of Infiltrate because I'm sure it's going to go up in price. Yeah. Fun to see KO surge in popularity and Elo points, and then see Brute get crippled in CC with a man up club. Yeah, that would be rough. That would be rough, Yama. I think that's the other thing too, right? Like, the armory decks are really good. This is another reason why I'm like iffy on like CC decks. I think if you're choosing to make CC decks for heroes that are like really low on the like Living Legend scale, I don't think it's that bad. But like, eventually this deck is just not gonna, like, you're not gonna be able to play it. And so, like, when are they going to have to do a cutoff as to how much they make? Because they could make a decent amount of them and just be like, okay, they're going to be tightly allocated. But if you're going to make a classic constructed deck for players to buy at LGS so they can enter an armory, you then have to take those items like pretty much off the shelf once that hero gets close to Living Legend, because they can't even play him in the armory anymore. So, sold my ninja cards for extra money to take the kids through. Oh, that's right. You were telling me about that. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, the ninja cards, they went up in price. So, yeah, I mean, that could be the case. Granted, I don't know how big that print run's going to be. So, Really? Because like technically that's against like LSS policy, Tomas, but maybe if that is, maybe if that's something that LSS grants to LGSs, that's fine. So right, exactly. If there's, but there, I don't think there's good. That's the thing. I don't think there are going to be good, like insanely good cards in the Armory deck. You're going to have the special cards that they're going to make specifically for it, like Savage Sash. The chess piece is good, but it's not Final Spring Tunic. Final Spring Tunic is just significantly better. So Savage Sash is good, but that's fine, right? So I don't know. I don't think it'll be like scalped. I don't think it's going to be scalped. I think it's going to be totally fine. And if it does get scalped, then that is what it is, right? Then LSS will look at the numbers and they'll go, "Hey, scalped. We don't want that to happen with our future decks, so we're going to print a little bit more of them." And then nobody's going to scalp them. I do think Tunic's significantly better. Like, I think Savage, don't get me wrong, it's a good chess piece, but I think getting a free resource every 3 turns and then being able to block 1 is a lot better than, what is it, pay 2, destroy it, and then your stuff costs less for 1 turn. Like, it's for 1 turn. So I think it's fine. Especially when you have a bunch of decks like Victor and Bravo and the freaking super defensive assassin. Like, I think that the deck is it's going to have a power turn, right? But it's going to have 1 power turn, and that's it. It's going to have 1 power turn, and then it's over. Okay, even if it doesn't, again, it's good, right? Final Spring Tunic, Savage Sash. Obviously, like Savage Sash is really good, but I believe that Final Spring Tunic overall, from a level that is like PT worthy, the only thing that it does is it allows you to block 2 and then maybe block 1 more if you don't want to use this effect, or you can block 2 and then come in with a crazy power turn in which you want to come in for a assault and battery for a blue pit, discard 6 and then play CNC for 1. Like, I get that it's powerful. I don't think that it's not powerful, but again, I think it's a 1 turn thing. In a 20 health format, terrifying. In a 40 health format, I don't really care. It's not that bad. Playing that in Blitz is going to suck. That's going to be bad. That's going to be feels bad. But it is terrifying. It is terrifying. Like, I'm right there with you. I'm not saying it is a bad chess piece. I'm saying that I think most people would probably still prefer Tunic because Tunic is just consistent and you're able to get that additional resource discount on anything as many turns as you want. And you can make that CNC cost 1 anytime. As opposed to with the chess piece where you're going to want to get the block value out of it, obviously, and then you're going to want to destroy it. So shows the company is doing great to not power creep new cards. Exactly. I mean, it's literally just that was the name of that card. Courage of Bladehold. It's just Courage of Bladehold, but for brutes, right? Like, isn't it literally just the same thing? But like Blitz, I could see that being a problem. I could see it being banned in Blitz. Is how strong I believe it is. But it is what it is, I guess. So But I don't know. I'm excited to see new things, but I don't think that it's like, I don't think anything in the deck, unless they quite literally do print CNC in the deck, and they make it a guarantee that you're going to get 3 copies of Command and Conquer inside this KO deck for $40. Yeah, I don't think people are going to be scalping it. I brought this up in the video that I talked about scalping the KO deck, in which you take a look at the round the table stuff. You can buy a round the table kit with all 4 Blitz decks for $45 right now on the internet, and then sell the Blitz decks individually for like $85 after everything is all said and done. Nobody's doing it though. There's still plenty of round the tables available on the open market. Nobody's buying them to flip them. So, like, what? Just, yeah, right. No kidding. That's okay. We have raw meat. We have raw meat. KO still has temper 2 in commoner. He's just got to work a little bit harder for it. I don't think it's at the point where things are going to get scalped. And again, if I'm wrong, which very well could be the case, I could be wrong, but you are absolutely going to see some kind of response from LSS if it ends up working out that way. If the KO deck comes out and every LGS that ordered the KO decks sell out immediately, and then we go online to the secondary market and we see that Savage Sash, as well as whatever the hell they put in the Blitz decks or in the Armory decks, goes and sells online for more than what the Blitz deck, more than what the Armory deck costs. We're going to see arbitrage, and then we're going to see LSS go, how do we not fuck this up this next time, right? Because they have 5 other Armory decks releasing this year. So 4 other Armory decks outside of KO, which is why I'm assuming it's probably going to be all the heavy hitters heroes. So they're all releasing within this year. So they're just going to have to go, hey, print runs are going to get spiked up. We're going to have tons of these available. And, you know, it's still going to be limited quantity and tightly allocated. And what they're going to do is they're just going to make a lot of them, sell them to public, and then once the Hero Living Legends, they're going to shred all the rest of them they have at their office. Because Legend Story Studios is a company that does not give a shit about shredding cards. So there was even something that I read up on, or I saw on I don't know if you guys saw this. The was it Fabled Hunters? I think it's Fabled Hunters. The YouTube channel with Saint. He had talked about a promo Ghostly Visit that had existed for a long time ago, and this promo Ghostly Visit was like bought up by Channel Fireball and Card Shop Live, and then they were selling it for like a crazy amount online, and then LSS caught them and was just like, yeah, you got to send that product back to us. But it was confirmed by James White that they have not gotten that product back, and they're still trying to sell it for a crazy amount of price, like a really, really high price for this promo. And James White quite literally was just like, no, I'll just reprint the bitch at that point. Like, I'll reprint it so that way its value tanks. So, you know, I don't have to have a company try to put one over on me. So that'd be interesting. So if red bidding price is equal to the cost around table. It still is. It's actually more now at this point. 2 Bittering Thorns is $20, and then a Civic Footsteps is about $25. So it's $45. You can that's about what they're selling for that. Not to mention, I'm sure all of the Crouching Tiger equipment that is being released, that was released with Ira. What? Like, that's really good. That's like really good. Because you also had, oh my god, I mean, you had all this other stuff too. Oh, Civic Steps went down to $15. Not bad. Bittering Thorns also went down, and also so did the deck. It's $40 now. The Ira deck costs almost as much as the actual LSS. Like, you also have Crouching Tiger stuff in here, right? Obviously, Mask of Three Tails is not specific to that. You also have Tiger's Eye Reflex, mind you, a ninja block card that you can use from Arsenal. And then if it defends, you create a Crouching Tiger and you can play it this turn. The entire Ira deck is cracked for Zen. Absolutely insane. And you can buy the whole thing, 4 decks, for $40 online. Huge. Not to mention the blue Tiger's Eye Reflex, because there's a blue one. You can play a blue Tiger's Eye Reflex. I'm sure it blocks for, does it block for 2? It'll block for 2 probably. They're probably going to reprint all the Tiger's Eye Reflexes in the set, I'd only imagine. Yeah, it blocks for 2. But this is crazy. You get to make a Crouching Tiger, you block with a blue from Arsenal, and then you can literally just Mystic Instant to get yourself Inner Chi. And then when you crack back on your turn, you're going to be able to create a Crouching Tiger, get a combo card, pump up your Crouching Tigers, come in for a whole bunch. You get to block out some damage. Obviously, 2 block from Arsenal is not like great, but the red one's going to be really good. Like, if they make Tiger's Eye Reflex in the set, they make a 4-block red Tiger's Eye Reflex. I mean, Zen is cracked at that point. And I do think Zen is going to be very, very interesting in Commoner. There's not a lot of stuff in Common that gives Crouching Tigers like additional attack value, which is why I think it's not really great. But I think that these do. No, this makes a Crouching Tiger. What's the equipment? This makes a Crouching Tiger. Where the hell are these? Is it this one? Blood Scent? Oh, Tearing Shuko, right? Or is it the next one you play? Yeah, the next Crouching Tiger you play this turn gets +2. Blood Scent does destroy this, gain 1 resource, activate only if you attack with a Crouching Tiger this turn. So, again, it's got Battle Worn 1, but it's not Tunic, right? Stubby Hammers is not legal in Commoner. It actually got banned along with Amulet of Ice like a month ago. Something like that. Month and a half, it feels like. So Stubby's got banned for sure. Stubby's got banned for sure. But yeah, so if you can find a way, if Commoner can find a way, if you can find a way in Common to pump up the attack power of your Crouching Tigers, I think Crouching Tiger is going to do pretty okay in Commoner. But I don't know. We just have to see. We have to see what happens when they release that stuff. So it is. I'm sure they're going to release something like that. But I do think a Red Tiger's Eye Reflex is going in every like Zen deck at any point. It's probably going in any ninja deck in general. Because, I mean, Ira would utilize a red Tiger's Eye Reflex. Well, Tiger's Eye Reflex is a rare. So if they bring it down to common, maybe. But in Clash, holy shit. The sheer value that a Crouching Tiger build gets in Clash is just stupid. So yeah. It'll be good. It'll be good. But I do think that overall, I'm excited to play every one of these heroes. In Clash, in Commoner, in CC, I'm excited to play them all. I don't know if I'll have the amount of time to do that. Obviously, with Clash and Commoner, I can just start doing some stuff online. CC, I can obviously do the same, just kind of like build my own build. But I'm happy that I at least have like everything I need for like Azuri, and that way I can play Azuri because that's the other thing. There are going to be more stealth cards that are released in the set too. They might be Mystic, but there also will probably be some that are not Mystic, and those stealth cards could very well be changes to be put into the Azuri list that I have. So that's at least nice. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Although I don't think most Katsus run Shuko. And I don't know if they'd run Shuko specifically to just get 1 extra damage on Tiger. Yeah, no, that is true. Although, is that right? Hold on. Discard a card with cost 0. It technically doesn't have a cost. Right? Maybe I'm wrong. It does have a cost. I'm a liar. I'm stupid. I don't know why I didn't. It doesn't have a pitch value. So yes, yeah. Kitty Katsu very well could be something that he could utilize. Yeah. Now I'm curious though, because like Katsu says you have to discard a cost 0. But like it technically doesn't go to a graveyard. So I'm wondering whether or not it has to look for the fact that a 0 cost is in the grave. I mean, like I'm sure people have done it already, so it doesn't think it matters, but true. True. And it's funny because Crouching Tiger also says, like, if you're looking specifically for like Art of War reasons, this says that if it would be put into a graveyard from anywhere, instead it ceases to exist. But putting it into a banish zone doesn't make it cease to exist. Which means I think you're able to play these from banish pretty easy. Maybe you're able to replay them from banish? I'm not sure how that works. But like Growl, this card came in the TCC stuff. It attacks the next Crouching Tiger you play this combat chain, gets +1. So this is a great starter. I need to get the TCC thing. I should just buy that. Just buy it and stop messing around with this. Because for $40 freaking dollars, like, what? $40. That's such an insane amount of value. Considering MSRPs for 70, like, what the fuck? Is about the active discarding? Yeah, probably. I don't know. I mean, that's like too many judge rulings, right? Yeah, I know. I think I'm gonna do it. It's also just like nice too. I mean, obviously I'm gonna take the cards out to use for like decks, but it's just nice to have those. I think the only downside is I might buy 2. I guess it's not a downside, it's an upside. I might buy 2. Because at $40, if I spend $80, it's the price of a box. I get 2 copies of each of the Blitz decks, which means I have a CC playset of everything that I need for them. And then I can sell the rest off if I need to, or use them for other things. But yeah. You bought 3. That's not bad. Not bad at all. Yeah, I think Zen is just going to be fucking insane. Like, even this shit. Like, if you're able to just end your turn on this, and then just like, cool, I'm going to play this Crouching Tiger. Mm-hmm. Because, like, the only thing I'll have an extra copy of is Civic Steps. And 1 Bittering Thorns. And, like, I guess all the Tiger equipment. So, but, like, I'll have all the Growls. I'll have all the Bittering Thorns. I'll have all the reflexes I need. Yeah. So. Not bad. Not bad. I mean, like, they're selling too. Like, this is what's wild to me is the fact that, like, they're selling quite frequently. But, like, they just keep bringing down the price. Like, look at this guy's $7.99. It's $48. So it's probably like more like $50 theoretically. But I was like, why is the price so low? There's just no way. But $50, if I spend $100, I get all this here. Right. Well, because like the only M's that come in here are Maul and Key. And what M's come in? There's the obviously the heroes and the cold foil weapons, also a great thing to get rid of if I need to. Maul and Key, Final Act, Coax Commotion, Crazy Brew, Apocalypse Automaton. But Maul and Key, $2.70. It's pretty good. TCG Player is not tax included. Not tax included. So, for instance, this is probably like $4. Well, I mean, after shipping, it's going to be like $4, and then tax is probably like $4.50 or something. So, like, this isn't bad. It's like a chain ender, but it's got a hit. Still kind of rough. It does block for 3 though. So, I don't know. Yeah. They seem really, really cheap, but like it doesn't include tax. It also isn't showing like the shipping here. Shipping, like minimum shipping got raised to like $1.22 for a lot of people. So kind of wild. No, the misprinted one is the Key Unleashed got printed as Key Unbound. I don't know where it is actually. Yeah. See, so this is Key Unbound, but it's supposed to be Key Unleashed. So another great like fun little pickup, right? If you like the sound of Key Unbound as opposed to Key Unleashed, it's still for the record errata to be like if this, if you're playing this, it's played as Key Unleashed and not Key Unbound. So like for the sake of like the naming convention, it's still the same. It's just reprinted as something else. So, but yep. So that's the whole thing. I'm excited to play all 3 of these heroes. I think all 3 of these heroes are going to be super fun. I'm excited to see. I might buy a case of Part the Mistveil. Also, speaking of boxes, when this number gets to 2,000, if it gets to 2,000 before Part the Mistveil release in 2 months, I might go ahead and do a giveaway for a box of Park the Mistveil. So, you know, people who are looking for very, very niche budget game kind of formats, as well as sometimes we talk about Classic Constructed, and like general collecting, show them my way, and then I'll that number go up. Then you guys can all be included in a super awesome thing. So we'll do a nice video talking about that. What else is on the docket? I think that's it, and that's all I really want to talk about. We're well over what I planned to stream today. I wanted to stream for only 2 hours. It's now been two and a half. So I'm going to get going. I have some videos I need to get up. I have several more Clash videos for you guys to check out. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to work on those. I'm going to get those edited and set up. I kind of want a schedule to be from this point forward. I want to get a video out on Sunday, a video out on Wednesday, and then a video out on Friday. And I feel like that's like a great kind of like level to have at least all that. And then sometimes if I, you know, if something comes up that I like really want to talk about and I don't want to wait, I'll release the video that day. But I think I want my upload schedule to be Sunday, Wednesday, Friday. And that way we can stream on Thursday and then have those other days kind of work it out. So thank you guys so much for watching. I do appreciate your support. It's always great seeing you guys here. You know, as per always, you guys are super awesome. And the fact that you guys find your way here every single Thursday is very humbling to me. I'm very happy to know that you guys want to come check out my channel and check out the live stream whenever I am live. But yeah, just stay tuned for more awesome Flesh and Blood content. We're going to talk more about Clash, talk more about Commoner. We're going to talk a little bit more about collecting. I have some more collecting videos I want to go ahead and make. And then, obviously, if you wanted to support the channel in a more monetary sense, we do have three tiers of channel memberships available to people, starting at as low as $2 a month. You can support the channel through those means. You get emotes to use in the actual chat here, and as well as a loyalty badge. And then there are member-only videos that I plan to make more of, hopefully sometime soon, talking about market stuff and talking about other life things. You can learn a little bit more about me specifically as an individual, if you even care to know. And then, of course, the higher tiers you get, like the more things you get. So we have a $2 tier at Copper, a $5 tier at Silver, and a $10 tier at Gold. So if any of those interest you and you want to support your boy, that's appreciated because that money goes to making this stream better and helping me pay the bills. So thank you all so much for watching. Again, I appreciate your support. Thank you for joining me on the first recorded episode of the Common Language, which hopefully I'll have edited and everything set up sometime very soon so I can have an actual like podcast episode as opposed to just a VOD, right? So thank you so much. Appreciate it. I'll see all your beautiful faces very soon. All right, everybody. Nerd out.